So this is going to be our first instructional video, and I want to talk about some things about the keyboard and also some theoretical things, how to formulate a major scale and the relative minor. So you can see that this is a full-size keyboard. It has 88 keys and a combination of white keys and black keys. And it also has a sleeping black and white greyhound next to it, and well, Bianca's hiding because she doesn't want to listen to me. So a full-size keyboard is 7 octaves and a couple notes, and the white keys on the keyboard are given the first 7 letters of the alphabet names, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and then the black keys correspond to those, which we'll talk about in a second. So as you can see, there's a combination of 2 black notes and 3 black notes, and that pattern just repeats up the keyboard. 3, there's 2 here, I'm a little off because of the camera, 3 and 2 and 3, and that pattern goes up and down the keyboard. So the easiest way to remember where C is to find the 2 black notes, and to the left of that is C. So you can remember that with every octave. So if you find the 2 black notes, C is next to that. So once you find the C, you know the letter before that is B, and the letter before that is A. Okay, so the keys are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then it repeats again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So you can see that the black keys are interspersed with all of those keys. So the black keys relate to the white keys, and it depends on the key that a piece is written in. But this first black key next to C can either be a C sharp or it can be a D flat. Okay, this black key can either be D sharp or it can be E flat. And then this white key, even though it's a white key, can also be F flat or it can be E sharp. And this can be F sharp or G flat. This can be G sharp or A flat. This can be A sharp or B flat. And then this can be C flat. It can be B. It can be C flat, or this can be C, or it can be B sharp. Okay, don't get confused by that. So between this note and this note is called a half tone. And between the next connected note is a half tone. This is a half tone, 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 and a half tone. So between the C and the D are 2 half tones, so that makes a whole tone. Between the C and the E is a whole tone. Between the E and the F is a half tone. Between the F and the G is a whole tone. Between the G and the A is a whole tone. Between the A and the B is a whole tone. And between the B and the C, because those 2 notes are connected, is a half tone. So that is in the key of C is the pattern or the theory for a major scale. And C major, which I just played, is the only key that has no black keys, no sharps or flats. So again, you start on C. Okay, and let's go back a little bit. Your fingers have numbers, so your thumb is 1, your second finger is 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's the same with your left hand. Your thumb is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's very important. So you start with your 1 on the key of C with your wrist up a little bit and your fingers curled. Your 1 plays C. Your 2 goes up a whole step to D. Your 3 goes up a whole step to E. Then your thumb comes under, you pivot under, a half step, up a whole step on your second finger, up a whole step on your third finger on A, a whole step your third finger on B, and a half step to C. And you go down on your fifth finger on C, to your fourth finger on B, your third finger on A, your second finger on G, your first finger on F, your third finger crosses over on E, your second finger on D, and your first finger or thumb on C. So that's very important. The fingering is very important. It may not seem like it, but it is, because in all of music your fingers are going to have, the music is going to be fingered and your fingers have to correspond to those numbers. So every major key has what's called a relative minor. So let's first talk about the chords. So a chord is made up of 3 notes, which is called a triad. So the chord is made up of the tonic note, the root note, a third, and a fifth. So it's every other key. So this is the 1 chord in the key of C, and it's a major chord because it's the third is a whole step and a whole step. It goes up what's called a major third. Has to be 2 whole steps. A minor third is a half step, a whole step, and a half step. So that's a minor third. This is a major third. So the first chord is made up of a major third and then the fifth. Okay, the 2 chord is a minor chord, the D chord, because it's a whole step and a half step, which is a minor third. So that's a minor chord. The 3 chord is E minor, okay, because it's a half step and a whole step. The 4 chord in all major keys is a major chord because it's a whole step and a whole step to the major third. The 5 chord is a major chord because it's a whole step and a whole step there. The 6 chord is a minor chord because it's a whole step and a half step between the third to the third. And then the 7th chord is actually a diminished chord because a major fifth, okay, between C and G, you can see it's a whole step, a half step, and a whole step. Okay, so between B, if you did from B a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, and a half step. Okay, this is a major fifth, I'm sorry. But in the key of C, there's no F sharps, there's F natural. So you're diminishing, you're making smaller the fifth, the major fifth, and you're also making smaller the third. So it's called a diminished chord. And then the C chord is, again, the 1 chord. So every major key has what's called a relative minor key, which is a minor key which is a minor third below. So we have a half step and a whole step. So A is a minor third below C, and A minor shares the same key signature, which is no sharps or no flats, with C. So the natural minor scale would be A, B, C, or 1 comes under on D, E, F, G, and A. G, F, E, D, over with 3 on C, B, and A. However, most music written in minor keys in Western music is written in what's called the harmonic minor, which raises the seventh note of the scale. So the seventh note of the scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is G, and so you raise that to a G sharp. So then the harmonic minor scale is A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, and A. G sharp, F, E, D, C, B, A. Okay, so again, your fingering in your right hand is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, and 1. Your left hand fingering for the C scale starts on your fifth finger, so it's C, D on 4, 3 on E, 2 on F, 1 on G, over with 3 on A, 2 on B, and 1 on C. Going down is 2, 3 on A, under with 1 on G, 2 on F, E, D, 4, and C. So if you practice that with your fingers curled like mine are here, with your fingers like you're holding onto a bar, your handlebars on your motorcycle, or you know, a barbell or something. Just think of a bar being under. Keep your fingers curved like that, and that way your fingers will get strong in that position, and your wrist has to be up a little bit. Okay. Now, as far as the song, it's actually in the key of D sharp minor. Okay, so the key signature is going to be the key of F sharp major. So in this case, we start on our second finger on the black note, and you start with your second finger on F sharp. This is the major scale. G sharp, A sharp, then a half step to B, C sharp, D sharp, a whole step, but we need an E now because this is D sharp, so the F is now E sharp and F sharp. E sharp, D sharp, C sharp, B, A sharp, G sharp, and F sharp, because you have to account for every note. Okay? So the song is actually a minor third down, so we go a half step and a whole step to D sharp. Okay, so we're going to start with our third finger on the D sharp, E sharp, and this is going to be the natural minor scale without the raised seventh. So it's D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, C sharp, 1 on B, over with 4 on the A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, 1 on E sharp, and D sharp. Okay, and your left hand, you'll start on your 2 on the D sharp, 1 on E sharp, 4 on F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, 1 on B, 3 on the C sharp, and 2 on the D sharp. Going down, 3 on C sharp, 1 comes under to B, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, 1 on E sharp, and D sharp. So practice those scales and get them in your fingers, and then in the next video we'll go over the notes in the song in the right hand. And I sent you a copy of the music, which I hope you can see. I know that you won't be able to read the notes, but the finger numbers are on there. I'll go over what the notes are, and so you need to memorize the finger numbers and the notes, and we'll also talk about the timing. Okay? Bye.